Power BI Desktop. Well, for those of us in Australia, you're no doubt aware that today was the publication of the marriage equality results. So I just pulled these down a couple of hours ago, and I'm not terribly satisfied by the format of their data. Like, since when should we need images, and not the most friendly format. I mean, this is an XLSX file. It's not even XLSX. It's the old Excel file that shows how current our Bureau of Statistics in Australia is. But it's been designed for human reading, and that's a little disappointing, because today we've got great tools that if you give it raw data, like a CSV, we should be able to just suck it all in and then analyze it in the way that we would like to. So they gave us two workbooks. I'm not going to dwell on this, but it's a good example of Power BI Desktop. These are the responses, yes, no, from state down the division. And then we also have a second sheet that says this is the participation by age and state and division.
Can you just, for the international people, tell them what this is and what the vote result
So
was?
some context, that's right, if you're not from Australia, is that the Australian government proceeded with an online survey asking all enrolled voters, yes, no, do you approve of changing the marriage laws to support equality for all, not just those of, how can we say it these days, non-matching genders? Whatever the right terminology. And so the results of those polls were announced publicly today. And the result was, I believe, what, 61% yes across the country. So what I did with this data was I came into Power BI Desktop, and I'll take you quickly to the edit queries, because essentially from those two workbooks, I was able to do things like this. So for state participants, or let's look at state division response. This is the data that I really needed for my analysis. Give me state division, and then the yeses, the no, not clear, and not responded. Now, take a look on the right-hand side, because from the source document, which was the Excel, navigating to a specific worksheet, I was able to perform all of the transformations to ultimately arrive at the data that I needed. This is an enormously powerful tool. Does anyone recognize where it came from? This capability of Power BI Desktop first appeared in Excel, not Power Pivot. It's Power Query, right? So the Power Query add-in, available in Excel up until Excel 2013, it was a free download that you could install to Excel, but as of Office 2016, Excel includes Power Query natively by the name of Get and Transform. All right, so if I look on the ribbon for Excel, on the data ribbon here, Get and Transform is the Power Query capability. Now, Power BI Desktop uses that as an ability to connect to a very wide range of data and to perform transformations, as you can see here, to ultimately arrive at what you need loaded into your model. So what got loaded into my model, you can then see through the relationship view here. I brought in state division response, I've got a division table and relationships, enabling me then to produce this type of visualization. So if I want to answer the question, well, by descending order of the number of yeses per number of responses, so the green here says the Australian Capital Territory produced the highest yes result of 74%, but the 60.9% says that if everybody that was enrolled to vote voted, then the yes is 60% of all enrolled. So the ACT, you'd have to suggest, is the most liberal. Conversely, if we came to the no, we see it's New South Wales that were most in favour at no, at 42.25% of those that responded. For those that didn't respond at all, Northern Territory would have to be the laziest state or territory that we have. And then this one boggles me a bit, unclear responses. So we can see that there were 11,028 responses that weren't clear. Does that mean they just missed the box? I mean, yes, no? Or, I don't know, or didn't write anything? Okay, but there's a great example of why we might use Power BI Desktop, is the source data we have is just not suitable for the types of questions that we need to ask. More often, the reason we use Power BI Desktop is that we want to integrate data from multiple sources. The Bureau of Statistics, but I'd also like to bring in a population data set, or I don't know, anything else that would enhance the analysis we need to do. So I cannot overstate the importance of Power BI Desktop, but at the same time stress that this is a tool targeting the business analyst. And please do not think that everybody that engages with Power BI needs this. It's probably around 5% of the organization that actually create data solutions, as opposed to the reports they publish, and the consumers. The larger audience of Power BI are those that simply need to find reports, interact with them, and hopefully answer their questions.